I've been on your mailing list and have been like watching from afar, and I've been like so excited and also like in awe of you, like of what you've been doing, to be honest. I think it's like, obviously it takes, I'm not surprised knowing your personality, but like from my perspective, it seems like it takes so much guts to go out and say you are what you've said you are, and like clearly you've got the skills to back it up. But it's going out on a limb to an extent, say like, I'm an expert, like, um come, let me give you advice. And
Like, I'm sure we have so many kind of mutual circles of like friends that are extremely intelligent and are
yeah.
amazing at what they do. And I remember, as Twitter started to grow in 2007, 8, and 9, and I was just so angry. There were all these people that were branding themselves as experts and getting
Mm-hmm.
a lot of publicity and press, and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think a strategy for a long time in my career was just like, be good at what you do. And I took that strategy because I was looking back at my time in Silicon Valley, like I was like a 25-year-old girl with 6 years of education in technology. Like no one knew what to do with me. And so and I
Mm-hmm.
never blamed it on my gender or anything. So like my
Mm-hmm.
failures or successes. So I just kept doing good work. My first 2 years in New York, I had no like direction. I didn't know what I was trying to accomplish. The big realization really over, I mean, my entire career, but like that, those first 2 years in Philadelphia was that I am passionate about designing technology for people. That has always been my passion. I've had that sentence since like I graduated college in 2005. That's why I went to San Francisco. And like that passion was not shared in the Bay
Mm-hmm.
Area, right? Like
Hmm.
there was no room.
For technology's sake, is that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Like I tell the story of, um, when I moved out to San Francisco, Google's Mountain View office had just opened. I went
mm,
there for an opening event. A year later, I saw Reid Hoffman and Mark Zuckerberg on a panel talking about social networks. And I raised my hand in 2006 and was like, hey, Mark, like, when are you going to hire like PhD sociologists and stuff? Because you're fundamentally affecting the way people connect and communicate.
great.
And he like totally dodged that
Huh.
question.
Huh.
And I remember like
Feels
finishing
like you could
graduate school.
answer that and fake it. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I remember after graduate school, like I wanted a job at Facebook or Google or
Mm-hmm.
Twitter came out later. Like I wanted a cool startup job, right?
Yeah.
And none of these companies were hiring people to design the product that couldn't also build it too,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
Facebook's first 7 years
Mm-hmm.
as a company is like all
Mm-hmm.
software developers. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe by 2010, they hired Andrew Fiore and a bunch of other PhD researchers,
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth
Mm-hmm.
Churchill. But like the DNA of the company was
It's
set.
not in their DNA. Yeah.
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 The
Totally.
DNA of the company was set by that point, right?
Yes.
Same with
Yes.
Google. The user interface designers I know that worked for Google pre 2010 had to get every single pixel approved by Melissa Mayer. Like they couldn't change one thing without her approval.
Mm-hmm.
And we know at Google, like they have UI and people and research people, but like the engineers run the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's in their
Mm-hmm.
DNA. My whole career, I've been trying to fit myself into like the Silicon Valley socket, right? I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out how to convince like super nerdy software developers and the young programmers that like I know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about and I have value. And then finally doing all these branding exercises with this woman Gabby, I was like, yeah, fuck that. Like,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, you're
like,
fighting against the grain, right?
yeah. And I'm like, and it's
Yeah, it's like, why do I need to overcome your weakness, like, or whatever, or try, yeah, or just try to fit into your model when I'm coming from a different model here.
yeah, but it's like in 2017, I've been in this industry for like 12 years. I still
Hmm.
feel like I don't fit in to
Hmm.
it. I still feel like I could be an imposter. Um, but like angel investors are hiring me to evaluate startups. I've had a lot of
Yeah.
successes. I've had failures that if you flip the coin, I was actually right about. And
I bet.
like I just didn't, like, so it's like I knew what I was talking about. And branding and marketing is a lot easier if you have a brand that actually represents who you are and not someone you're trying to be. So it turns out that my brand, to no surprise, is like the maverick, the rebel, the person that is going to stand up and say what no one else wants to say.
Uh-huh.
And then there's also this concept of the hero's journey. And
Uh-huh.
there's the reluctant hero, which is the one that's been sitting around doing their own thing, watching
Yes.
things go to shit, and finally is like, okay, well, I guess I have to stand up and start saying the things
Yes.
that no one else will say.
Yeah, I spend so much of my time, I feel like, my cycles trying to imagine how others are viewing me, and also trying to cater to all of these like different markets and segments, and it's a lot of work and a lot of wasted work, and it's like it's inauthentic, and at the heart of it, it's like that's one of the things I've learned is like I've got to be me. It's just like it's not going to work from on so many levels. It's going to take too much energy. It's My work's not going to be as good. I'm not going to be as happy. But yeah, but the I guess what you're saying you got over is like, well, the authentic me has value to a segment, and you found that, and like I like that's where you can play, and that's where
Yeah.
you can work, and that's where you can provide value.